Progress Racing presents Show Us Your Tips. We look forward to Super Saturday at Flemington Newmarket and Australian Cup Day, as well as not a bad card at Rosehill in a drying Sydney, we hope. But some good racing ahead, Beaver.
Yeah, some good racing ahead over the weekend. Probably, I don't know if the cards are as good as what we've seen the last couple of weekends, but some good races nonetheless, and hopefully a few winners out there.
If apart from the features, Flemington feels a little bit stock standard Flemington, and maybe Rosehill does too. But I think there's some good betting opportunities.
I certainly think so too.
Looking forward to getting into it. We'll kick off at Flemington with the 2 Group 1s there. The rails in the 5 metre mark on a good track. And we kick off with the 2-year-olds in the Breeders' Stakes over the 1,200 metres. How are we going to start the day?
Yeah, a little bit of a tricky affair here. 3 main ones in the market have got some nice form leading into this. I've stuck with the Ruthless Dane from the Mar Eustace stable. I thought it looked pretty good in his first up win. It won by a length and beat a fairly decent horse, and they gapped the rest. It shows that those two might have a bit of ability here. The rider in that win car took it pretty easy on it down to the line, so I think it had a bit more in hand first up, and can be hardest to beat here.
I think the market's in the right order here. I had the other way around there. Nanagui debuted with just behind Sebanyak, who was I thought unlucky in the Blue Diamond, ran okay, and I think sets up well here, potentially right part of the track, and gets J-Mac. So happy to start the day that way, but Ruthless Dame, everything you said is right, so I won't add much more there. I think the other 2 main chances I feel like there's a longer tail on this race than some of the ones we may have seen. The Mile Penfolds Matron Stakes is a Group 3 for the Mares, race 2, where I've just noticed Promised Success is out, actually, just looking at the scratchings. Flying Mascot, very hard to beat. Obviously, it's going to be on pace. Blake McDougall controlling. I was giving the 2 O'Shea horses, which is now 1, a chance, though. I think Rocket Clock's in the game here, just out the back on that wet track and never really had a full crack. But I think the best of its form stacks up well in this race. And I think that's about it. I think Turath's a little bit disappointing or underwhelming this prep. I might be being harsh here, Beaver.
Yeah, I think you've been a bit harsh there, Daggy. I actually like Turath in this race. I think this is the weakest race it's met this preparation in.
He's coming back from a Group 1, so yeah.
It is coming back from a Group 1, and I think Flying Mascot, albeit going well at $2.10, the other one's closer to $4. I think Turath probably leads and might control, and I think Flying Mascot might find it hard to go past it. Look, Turath wasn't given, it was pretty taken on in the last Group 1, and still stuck on pretty well against the males in a Group 1. This is, as I mentioned, this is a weaker affair for it. So I think if it is going to bounce back, this is the type of race that last preparation it was winning comfortably. Outside of Flying Mascot, which I think it probably does. I think it probably does, and I think, I just think it's a better horse than Flying Mascot. But we'll see Flying Mascot tested this prep. Yeah,
we'll find out tomorrow. The Moomba Plate is race 3, 1,100 metres listed race up the straight. Remarks come out to stay in Sydney, I'm gathering. But I was bullish on Zerastro resuming last week, and I'm going to stick solid here. I think it's a nice horse. I like the fact it's gone down, I assume, looking for the dry track, and I think it's going to give you a nice sight here. The market's probably in the right order, though. Give me par, ran well last prep. The format of that Kalos race it finished in hasn't exactly stood up, but I know they've got an opinion of it. So, but Zerastro, I think, is a nice horse. Beaver, what have you made of this race?
Yeah, I'm sticking with you here as well. Zerastro resuming down in Melbourne. I think it might have a bit of ability. The scratching of Remark makes it a bit of an easier pick for me in this. Again, there's probably General Bow, I think, is a chance. It wasn't too bad first up, and Gimme Par, I think, has got a bit of ability, but I think Zerastro might be better than these.
Yeah, cool. Race 4 is the size produce stakes, a 2-year-old for the 2-year-old Group 2 over the 1,400 meters. We'll get that out. A lot of chews in there. I don't think there's much form in this race. A lot of this is either wet track form or bush form. So my thought was, I know Let's Roll Dice was a nice win, but it's going from a bog heavy Bendigo to town. The thought I sort of had here is maybe the Sydney form can stack up. Man in the Mirror, coming off a heavy track down there. J-Mac going on. An okay return. And then before that, On Debut beat Paris Dior, who has run okay since. And I think that could set up quite well in this race because I struggled to really split the rest of the form up. A lot of these are either tied to each other or coming through midweek stuff. What did you make of it?
Yeah, look, I certainly had Men in the Mirror as a genuine chance here and probably a saver for me. I've stuck with Sir Bailey. I thought second up it showed nice improvement from a pretty good first up run. I think the draw here from gate 1 means it leads or just sits behind the pace here and gets the right run. I thought it hit the line well. I think it could be further improved here, and I've got it on top around the $5 mark. But certainly some of the Sydney form be wary of. And you might be right, Man in the Mirror could be the main danger.
Beautiful. The mile Group 2 for the fillies is the CUNY Stakes. Some of your favourites all popping up again here. What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm going for Argentia. I'm pretty keen on it actually in this race. First up, it was outstanding. I thought second up was a little bit flat, but that was on the track where leaders seemed to be able to kick on and fight on, and it had to sit behind it. And I think just sitting closer to the pace may not have suited it as well, and it might have just lost that little bit of zip. But when it did get some air, I think it was in the last 50, I think it was really starting to chew up the ground. I think 1,600 now gets out to the right distance, right fitness here. Gate 6, I think it just gets in the running line at Flemington. And certainly the longer straight suits. So for me, Argentia, a very nice bet.
I agree. I don't have much more to add. I think it was, the combination of Caulfield, a little bit second up, and Lavish Girl did have a softish time. I think Flemington sets up much better. And coming off the short SP, happy to get that cash back there. One for your early quaddies is Mochaluka out to the right distance will give you a little bit of a sight, maybe for a place as well at around the 30s. But I think Argentia is a nice bet here. Quaddie itself kicks off with the Newmarket Handicap up the straight, the 1,200 metre Group 1. What are you going to do here in this cracking little race?
Yeah, what a beauty. Good race. Yeah, pretty deep field here. I think there's a lot of horses that are good chances. Some are probably just a little bit of a question mark. So hard to find. If you're going for the main form, you've got to look at Lost and Running, Home Affairs, Masked Crusader. Outside of that, if I just focus on the others, Artorias, just not sure about. It would have to show something for me again before I was about it. Yeah, you just can't back it. Quantico, I think could be untapped, but its winning form is not at the quality of these horses, and for me that means hard to back. Stacking up against these horses first time. Swats that hasn't done something for a while. Snap Dancer goes all right in okay company. And then you get down to Oxley Road, Finance Tycoon, horses like this haven't done anything for a while. And September Run, same thing. It could show up. It's probably a bit of a smoke at $27. So you're kind of left with the main three in the market, I think, unless you want to go for something like September Run to pull something out. So looking at that, Home Affairs was outstanding last start, beating Nature Strip. It's got to be hard to beat in this race. Masked Crusader at $12 is a great bet. You've probably got to at least save on it. I've come up with Lost and Running as the favourite. I just think this horse just keeps getting better and better. It's pretty much bomb proof. It's going to come out. It's going to get a nice track in the race and can sit off the pace and produce a really strong finish. So I'm going Lost and Running to sit on their hammer and go past them. Masked Crusader to Flushing home.
Fair enough. I'm going the other way. I'm going with Home Affairs. I thought it beat, obviously had a bit of luck, and so it beat Nature Strip, Home Gap, the rest of the field, and J-Max going back onto it. Oh, he stuck with it last time. So sorry, J-Max sticks. Outside fence. You might get $4 on a day. I think a great bet. Interesting to see where Lost and Running stacks up. Now it's back to Group 1 company but it has tangled with them all in the Everest. And I'll be throwing probably Snap Dancer down the bottom of the weights there and into the quaddie and Mask Crusader in the quaddie. So, but Home Affairs on top for me. Its biggest win was actually 1,200 meters as well in that Coolmore. So I think 1,200 meters, no problem. The Australian Cup is the second Group 1 on the card, where we see Think It Over down from Sydney. Look, this is a terrible race. Let's be honest. This is coming through that Group 2 race, which I bagged 2 weeks ago. And they all slugged around in Cascadian one. Think It Over's been beaten very elegant last time. The only concern for me is it's coming off the wet track to a dry. But Nash is on. It's going to roll forward. It's going to be exactly what it wants to be. There's not a lot of other pace here. And I think it's a fantastic bet here around $3. And I can see potentially them backing Call Sign Mav and a few others. And you might even get better on a day because with your way form. But for me, Think It Over is a fantastic bet. And I'm not going to probably add much more to that.
Yeah, look, there's no doubt Think It Over is a massive chance in this race. But look, I'm going for Spanish Mission. Look, it's an ultra consistent horse, just like Think It Over. I thought it was very good first up and just started to get into its work and finish off very nicely behind Bellswood and Call Sign Mav. We know it's ran good races prior to that in the Melbourne Cup. The distance is no problem. The further they go, the better this horse will get. I think this race sets up very nicely for it. Does have J-Mac on board. I'm looking for Spanish Mission to be super hard to beat. I think it's been set for this, and will be hard to beat. No doubt Think It Over is a very good chance. Outside of that, again, a lot of these horses you're not quite sure. Cascadian was good last start, so it's definitely got to be thrown in, and the rest are good on their day, but yeah, hard to catch.
No, that's fair enough. The second last on the card is the Shaftsbury Avenue handicap over the 1,400 metres. We see Kiss on All for Cheeks coming over from Perth to start favourite, which I'm not sure about. So for me, the couple of bets here is one, Chaillot, fresh is best here for it. It's $6. You know what it's going to do is get to the middle of the track, probably be last at the 300 and come steaming home. And I thought Terry Tortoni's return was better than it looked last time. It was stuck on the fence at Caulfield, just rolling along. And I just held up, and but hit the line well enough. And around the 20s is going to, I think, is an okay saver there. So the two I'm going to look at predominantly. A couple of the nice horses here, but what have you done?
100%. I agree with you. Terry Tony is certainly a nice little play at the odds. But I've gone with you. Chaillot, like, it's outstanding first up. It's unbeaten and almost unbeatable. It's ran past better horses than these in its races. It's got an outstanding finish. The big Flemington straight suits, if it's ready to go first up, which it normally is. I just can't believe it's not favourite.
Yeah, because I know Kiss and All for Cheeks is running around some black type stuff in Ascot, but I don't think any of that stacks up. And it was just
and it hasn't won.
And it hasn't been winning. That's the other thing. And been getting beaten. I don't understand it at all.
Yeah, I don't understand it at all.
Yeah.
You know, last start ran second at Ascot over 1,200 against, this will test you, it was $10, so it wasn't even, favourite for the race. And it was a length and a half off him. And similar prior to that, it's not as though, 3 starts back ran third at Ascot over 1,600. It was 5.5 lengths at $7 behind Western Empire.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. So I'm not happy to bet with a quarter of the market taken up by it. The last on the card is a 3-year-old race as well. How are you taking us home?
Yeah, look, tricky little affair, this one. And I stuck with Cardigan Queen. I thought its first two runs this prep have been outstanding. Looks super hard to beat in this. I think $4 is a nice price. This field's got a long tail. Socialist could be hard to beat. It's going to need a little bit of luck in running there from the gate 13, but Cardigan Queen here for me just sits in the nice spot and should get the right trail home.
I think there's a couple of chances. I'm going to stick with Socialist on top. It was off the short SP, just got dragged out a bit and had to sit outside lead there. Don't think it was the greatest ride. Bit of a better run here. I think puts it back in the game from Cardigan Queen, who was good and is tied to that form. Did beat at home last time. He's been hitting the line well, and Flemington obviously will suit it up in distance as well. So they're the two, but a couple of little bits and pieces, but nothing I really want to talk about, to be honest. For progroupracing.com.au, have you got a Flemington quaddie?
Yeah, I do have a Flemington quaddie, mate. Given that's where I do my best. First leg, number 1, Mars Crusader. Number 2, Home Affairs. Number 3, Lost and Running. Number 10, Quantico. And number 12, September Run. In the second leg, I've got number 1, Cascadian, number 2, Think It Over, number 3, Spanish Mission, and number 6, Surprise Baby.
You do love her.
Yeah. I got a stick here, son.
Yeah, that's fine.
In the third leg, I've got number 1, Junipal. Number 9, Chaillot.
I think it's a good chance here, Junipal. Definitely goes in the quaddie.
Yeah. Number 9, Chaillot. Number 10, Cherry Tour Tony. And number 14, Morvada. And in the last, I have gone number 5, Cardigan Queen, number 6, Chatras, number 7, Socialist, and number 14, Set the Sails.
Very good. And while you're at it, give us your best and value for Flemington on Australia Cup Day.
My value bet is race 8, number 9, Chaillot. And my best is race 5, number 4, Argentia.
I'm agreeing with you. My value is Chaillot as well, or Chaillot, or Chaillot, or Chaillot. And my best of the day will be Think It Over in the Australian Cup. I think it's very hard to beat there. We head up to Rosehill, where it is currently rail true, a heavy track, and maybe up and off. Maybe we need to be up on pace there at Rosehill, as is the rule, but we'll see. As this dog, get out of here, dog. But I think it actually be a little bit drier than you think. I'm not saying it's going to get, to a dead or anything, but I think it will be in the 80s range, 7 or 8 by the time we get there. But let's keep an eye on that. It kicks off with the midway benchmark 72 as always over the 1200. You got anything to start us off in this race?
Nothing to start us off, mate.
I had Esteem Lady on top, but I have very little interest in betting in that. Race 2 is a Magic Night Stakes for the fillies. What are we doing here?
Yeah, look, this is a tricky little affair. I've settled on Queen of the Ball. First up was pretty good. I thought last start wasn't the worst. I think, not quite sure. The wet track may not have helped, but just may have got in the wrong part of the track there. But I think it can bounce back here, and I'm willing to stick with Queen of the Ball.
I was going to... I stuck with She's Extreme, market order there. It, challenged Fireburn, who's been very impressive in all its starts. It was obvious, gapped the rest. So had her on top. Bit of a watch on Seiru down the bottom there. Debuted in the Blue Diamond Stakes. I think we mentioned it back then. Pulled up lame. Trial win since and is up in Sydney. Just make sure it hasn't been scratched yet. No, she's still there. And is around $17. So that would be the other bet for me in this race. Race 3 is a 1,200 metre Pago Pago Stakes for the boys, where Gump is very keen on Magic. Friend of the show, the Gump, was all over Magic when I chatted to him early in the week. He thinks it'll win the slipper, so we'll be keeping an eye on it. What have you made of this race?
Yeah, good horse. Magic could be one out of the box, and the Gump could well be right. And I think this is the right race for it here. Yeah, it was hard to miss at first up, and should get the right run here. Gate 3. This is a pretty weak affair, I think.
There's nothing else here.
$2.15, I think, is probably a good price if anything to go by the first run. It should be winning. And a watch on Custodian at $13.
I think we've mentioned Custodian every Saturday for the last month, haven't we?
Yeah.
But yeah, two chances. Rise of the Masters is the other one with just on pace, fit now, fourth up, and you know where it's going to be. But I don't know how well that form necessarily stacks up. But what form does stack up here? The rest of this is all a bit away stuff. The Ajax race is a Group 2 1,500 metres race where this was pretty easy. Ellsberg smashed these last time, same track, and comes back to Rosehill, keeps the same heavy track, I should say, gets the same control, has the same setup, and there's less chasers. How's it going to get beat?
It's not. So
Excellent.
Ellsberg for me, $1.80 is a great price.
Perfect. Race 5 is the 1,100 metres Morris Mccarten. What have you done in this race? Remark stays in Sydney.
Yes, interesting race here. 4 good chances. The top 4 look to be the only chances. Look, yeah, look, I'm going to go for Gravina. I really liked it first up. I thought it was really good.
I liked it
I'm
better because I had
hoping,
lots of my money on it.
yeah, that's true, and I'm hoping that that's a good sign for this preparation. Where last prep it kind of promised to do that and ran a couple of good seconds and thirds. I'm hoping that breakthrough now gets it chasing to the line. It was ridden a bit closer, and that certainly paid off for it. And I think it might be a little bit similar here. He gets to sit behind him. Rule of Law's going great guns, but it sets up to better company for the first time. So I'm willing to probably risk it slightly at the price. And Remark obviously resuming at 650 is a very good chance. So I'd probably play Gravina and save on Remark. And Shelby 66. I'm not getting carried away with the last start.
I love it. I love the fact
it
it's $6. It's using up. It can't win, and it's using up a stack of the market. I've got Rule on top. It's flying. It's been getting through the conditions fine. I am surprised a little bit at the price. Gravina loses Nash, which he was great. It was a fantastic ride for him last time, but is down there in the weights, still in a chance. But I've got Rule of Law and from Remark, who I would have been tipping probably strongly if it had gone to Melbourne, to be honest. But must be a chance here. They must think it gets through the wetter right. So I think we've covered off all the chances there. The Far Lap Stakes is race 6, where I am. What am I doing here? Race 5, I should say. Getting ahead of myself. I've got Fangirl on top. Favourite on top. Hard to beat. A lot of these have a few are coming off wins, but not a lot of form to a lot of it. And I just think Fangirl's a nice horse, potentially a bit flat second up. I assume the stable think it gets through the wet because they would scratch it otherwise. And not a lot of chases. Roots off the nice resumption. I know it's from midweek stuff. Might be the main danger.
Yeah, look, I can't go past Fangirl here. I can't even find a danger, to be honest. First up was outstanding. Just got out of its ground last start, but I thought it ran on nicely. I don't think you'll find it 20 off the lead in this with a smaller field and all the scratchings. Yeah, just looks way too good for these.
Beauty. The quaddies kicks off with the Sky High Stakes, where I'm going to believe what I saw first up from Skylab. Great win, and can't possibly back Mount Popper. So it's on top for me. Just got to get some clear air at the right time. And I thought Spirit Ridge is arguably the best horse in this race, and it's $17. Now it's first up at 2,000, but I think it's worth a little bit of a saver there. Other than that, bits and pieces for the quaddie, maybe save Valentina. But yeah, that's it for me. Skylab on top.
Yeah, certainly Skylab's a huge chance in this. I was willing to take on Mount Popper as well. I've landed on Great House. First up was a nice little run. I think it hit the line nicely. It gets out to 2,000 here. As you've outlined, this is not a super difficult race. I think it's probably shown that it's the best horse in this field. had it's beaten better horses than these, and I think at 2,000 is right up the alley here. So great house for me.
Excellent. Yeah, another one for the quaddie. Definitely. The Group 1 Coolmore Classic is race number 8. What have you done here?
Yeah, this is a nice little race, this one. Some horses coming off some really good form, even deep into the field here. You've got horses like Cape Estelle, who was outstanding last start. It was $81. The Tissue missed the kick, and it's had some decent form before. Polly Gray, it'll like these conditions. So there's 3 horses there deep into the market that look pretty decent. Look, last chance for Espiona to me. I backed it the first 2 starts, this preparation. I've got a stick, but this is it. This is the chance, and probably this is the toughest field that it's had, this preparation. But I just think, again, if it's ridden with a little bit more aggression, the 50 kilos, that's a very lightweight in this race. Expat will ensure there's pace on. Espiona will just need to make sure it doesn't get too far back. But there's Lighthouse is an outstanding horse, and it doesn't run a bad race. So you're going to get a sight if you're on hit. Promise of Success will be running on with Espiona. They're both young horses, so that'll be a telling factor. Who's better there? And Expat will ensure that they've got something to chase.
I got Polly Gray on top. I think it's a great price. I've seen it's just firmed a little bit. I like the factor of Delegate 1 on a roughie. A wet track roughie has got nothing to lose. Hopefully push a little bit forward and sets up great here. And there's holes in all of these horses' form. And maybe Espiona just wants a dry track, but it is a Group 1, so maybe this has been the goal all along. From Expat, he's going to roll along on pace, get through the conditions, and you know what you're going to get there. They're the 2, I think that'll be the 2 main bets for me. And I'll think about whether I then have anything else on. I'll probably end up having something small on Capistel just for the knockout. But the 2 main ones, and enough waffling from me. Excited to find out what happens. Benchmark 88 is race 9, where I am less excited. I had the 2 Waller horse. I was giving the 2 Waller horses a real chance, Ma and Pa. Rolling forward here, gets through the conditions okay, but he's first up, and Syndicato down the bottom there, same deal. He might have a little bit of talent, and I just a bit bored of all the rest of these horses. Did you have any better clarity?
Yeah, certainly thought those 2 were well in the market and with very good chances. I've gone for Catalan, resuming after us kind of freshen up. It goes well. Fresh, it's had 3 runs for 3 wins. Goes well at this track. Not quite sure on the softer heavy going. That's probably the only concern for me. Has won a trial on it before, but it's form, and it's won on the soft before, but it's 2 starts on the heavy. Hasn't run a drum, but it's raced in better company than this as well, I think. So first up here, I'm going to take it on its first up form, about the $5.50. I think it can be super hard to beat.
Cool. And we wrap up with a 1900 metre benchmark 78, where I am going to come home with hopefully the favourite in the last. Zoom On is heading towards a derby. Has been good, both resumptions. He does come away from Canterbury, but might have a similar track here where it can roll along on the pace. And Tim Clark, you know what you're going to get from, who was my other chance here? That's about it. Mr. G would be the other danger, potentially same thing, bit of a claim at the top there. But how are you finishing today?
Yeah, I've stuck with the same as you here. Zumon looks to be a horse on the way up. It's in prep for better races than this. Very hard to beat. I think the $4, I don't think you'll get that come race day. So Zumon in the last for me.
Beauty. So the Rosehill Quaddie will kick off with the first leg. 1 Great House, 2 Spirit Ridge, 4 Skylab, 9 Savvy Valentina. The Group 1, 2 Polly Gray, 4 Lighthouse, 6 Expat, 12 Promise of Success, 15 Espiona. 9 at Martin Part, 10 Suami, 14 Sindicato. We'll skinny that up a little bit. Actually, we'll throw Caitlin in. Yeah, 7 as well. And then come home for 1 Mr. G, 2 Canasta, and 12 Zoom On. For Pro Group Racing, check them out for their free tips, extensive guides, and much more. My best at Rosehill will be Ellsberg, and my value, Polly Gray, in the Coolmore Stakes. What have you made of it?
My value bet is going to be race 3, number 3, Magic, all on to race 4, number 1, Ellsberg, all on to race 6, number 1, Fangirl. So I'm going
race 6, number 11.
little bit different.
No, that's fine.
Number 11, sorry. Yep. So that's going to be my value. You're going to have to get 3 home, but yes, cheeky little treble. And my best bet of the day comes up in the last race 10, number 12, Zoom On.
Beauty. Have you got anything up north?
Of course.
Eagle Farm.
You would be disappointed if I said no, I'm sure of it.
I would be.
I've got a few up there for you. I'm hoping Forever You goes to Eagle Farm.
I just noticed that.
And if it does, it's going to be race 2, number 7. I think it's going to be super hard to beat. I think race 4, number 1, Ocean Emperor, around the $4.55 mark, is going to be hard to beat. Race 5, number 1, Gypsy Goddess, is a good horse, resuming, and it's going to be hard to beat. And then my other one that presents a bit of value up there for a new stable is race 7, number 9, Aidensfield. So I think we've got a few winners coming up there.
Oh, excellent. Very good, Beaver. Good job again. We'll discuss potential meetings tomorrow afternoon to enjoy the races, see what's going on in life. But other than that, punters, good, stay safe. Best wishes to everyone doing a bit tough at the moment. Good punting tomorrow, and we'll talk to everyone for our midweek preview early next week. Catch you guys.
Cheers, mate.